Dogs and cats living together. That's hysteria. Wow! Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
What's up, you sleazy cinema lovers, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host, as always, Jay Schatzer, and today I have a really sick and twisted flick lined up for us. It is James Glickenhaus's 1980 just ultimate revenge flick. It is the Exterminator, and this one is just all kinds of sleazy fun. So let's get right into it. Here is the Exterminator. The Exterminator is a gritty and grimy action revenge flick set in a brutal cinematic world filled with sadistic psychos, perverted pedos, and everything in between, all lined up for a bloody reckoning. Insanely sleazy and completely mean-spirited, the production boasts an unhealthy personality and atmosphere that aids in on the grindhouse aesthetic to absolute perfection. Chaos personified, The Exterminator is a reckless crime thriller revenge flick that definitely pushes the boundaries of good taste and vigilante justice etiquette. The film follows Vietnam vet John Eastland as he tries to reassimilate back into society on the mean streets of New York City. One day his army pal Michael Jefferson is brutally beaten by a group of thugs, putting Michael in a coma and sending John on a wild killing spree, eradicating every and all criminals he comes into contact with. With the death toll rising and hard-nosed detective James Dalton closing in on revealing the vigilante's identity. Can John continue his path of justice, or has he bitten off more than he can chew when it comes to cleaning up the filthy streets of New York City? Robert Ginty takes on the stoic and bloodlust-filled role of John Eastland, the revenge-seeking vigilante who just can't get enough of dishing out his own brand of justice. Ginty thrills as the central character, yet his emotional range is a bit lacking in this instance, going for a more steel-faced anti-hero who's more robot than human. In this approach, you feel a huge disconnect with everything that is going on upon the screen, giving the film an overall cold tone and calculating personality. Like the soulless and unfeeling atmosphere of the crime-ridden city, Ginty does a remarkable job in mimicking the brutal and unsympathetic qualities that the film is just riddled with. Filling in this scumbag-saturated picture is a ragtag group of pimps, pushers, police officers, and pedestrians, all trying to stay afloat in this violence-prone city of non-stop revenge. The standout performers are Christopher George as Detective James Dalton, the smart-ass police detective who's desperately trying to reveal the identity of the vigilante. Samantha Eggar as Dr. Megan Stewart, romantic interest of Detective Dalton and a passing connection to the vigilante killings. Steve James as Michael Jefferson, John's Vietnam vet pal and unfortunate recipient of the world's biggest beatdown. And finally, Michelle Harrell as Maria Jefferson, Michael's poor grieving wife, who spends most of the movie breaking down with reckless abandon. Everyone does a remarkable job across the board, giving energetic performances that contrast beautifully against Robert Ginty's unemotionally brooding approach to his character. Brutality and nonsensical narrative flows abound within the production of The Exterminator, with jump cuts aplenty that progress the story into bizarre territory and unexplainable time jumps. But in all honesty, that's the charm of the flick. It's as sloppy as its subject material, and it just matches the grungy and grimy visuals and elements of the film to perfection. The outrageous situations and kills that grace the screen are insanely enjoyable and wild as all hell, embracing that grindhouse aesthetic and just running with it into some highly unsavory and sleazy scenarios, all lambasted with brutality at the forefront. The sin just oozes from every crevice of the film, and from Robert Ginty and the rest of the cast, It all feels lived in and extremely seedy. If you're looking for a revenge flick that doesn't skimp on the trashy nature of the subgenre, then give this one a look. It's unsettling, unsanitized, and completely unhinged. And that's just the way I like my 80s revenge flicks to be. In the end, The Exterminator is a no-nonsense brutal oddity that pulls no punches and completely and utterly entertains with its penchant for swift and cruel justice. And there you have it, you revenge-filled ravagers. That is the insanely fun and just all-round brutal revenge flick, The Exterminator. Just wow. If you love those 80s films from New York City that are just full of sleaze and brutality and violence, definitely give this one a watch. Just really, really hardcore. The characters are pretty cool. Just a really overall awesome atmosphere. But guys, that is it for me today. Hope you like that one, and I hope you like what I'm doing here. If you do, please like and subscribe. And if you have time on your hands, leave a comment below because I'd love to hear from you. But until then, I will see you all at the next movie review. Take care.
But I had to heal it. I had to heal it till I couldn't feel.